40 minutes. So our plan is to have a speed presentation. Then after that, we are going to invite one of our colleagues to make a small comment, and then the floor will be open for questions and answer. So to get started, getting published in high impact journals, what should you expect? Let me give you a bit of background to what it's all about. The custom. This will be within the context of Nigeria as one of the most populous countries in the world, situated in West Africa. So the custom here is many Nigerian academics, they have been patronizing online and offline journals from time immemorial, long time ago. So it could be that some Nigerian universities do not require publications in high impact or electronic journals for staff promotion. But things are changing. Sadly enough, is the fact that some of our colleagues do avoid publishing in high impact journals. So this habit is detrimental not only to the international recognition of the researchers involved, but also to the visibility of the university in the global context. But unfortunately, this has been on. Thereafter, we can base on these two premises, and then in the following talk, we shall address the following questions. One, what are the awful side effects of offline publications? What are the benefits of publishing in high impact journals? We would also like to see how to identify peer-reviewed high impact journals, even including the publishers. And then how can you prepare your manuscripts and publish in high impact journals free of charge without any cost attached? So let's start with a bit of reflections. And this is my personal opinion, my personal reflection on journal article publications. So one, the very first thing I would like to mention, I would like you to get this straight away, is that the future is online. What do I mean by that? Few people will debate that fact that the future of publications in academics is online and not in offline journals. So the benefit of wide audience coverage is a top-notch why you should choose online channels to publish your work. And again, access to transparent and qualitative peer-reviewed process gives online journals an edge over the offline ones. And then the ability to automate citation counts. You can always automate a citation. You will not even know, you just be sleeping and you'll be seeing your citation getting up and up and up. So this ability to automate citation is another crucial point that must be mentioned. The proper monitoring of article / author impact are appealing property of online journals that will make you to patronize online journals. Then if I may recommend, every researcher should ponder on this point. Look at this beautiful point that you get free of charge without paying a dime. So why don't you, because of this benefit, choose the future of publication, which is online? Then talk about the free publications. Unknown to some people, some of our colleagues, article publication in many peer-reviewed high-impact journals is free of charge. You don't have to pay. Yes, you do not need to pay anything for publication. Okay, there is neither submission or processing fee nor publication fee in so many peer-reviewed high-impact journals. It is all completely free. But again, you must understand one thing. When we say completely free, you don't have to pay. There is also something we must mention, and that's the issue of open access. Now you have published your articles, your article has been accepted for publication. Now, do you want to make it open access where everybody in the world can download it free of charge? It's different from publishing free of charge. Okay, if you want to make your article to be open access where everybody in the world can download it free of charge, then you have to pay. But if you don't want to choose that option, then it is completely free for you in so many high impact journals. How about you channel your energy to publications in these journals where you don't have to pay? Even the so-called offline journals, you have to pay. Whether it is a small amount or it is a big amount, that's a different issue. But offline journals, when I say offline journals, and I think I should be more specific here, When I say offline journals, I mean printed only journals. The journals that are hosted in the department or in the faculty or by organization, professional organization. And when they publish the articles, they only keep it in printed version. They don't put it online. Even those who have a small website, they don't index their website. We shall learn more about indexing. So when I say offline journals, I mean this type of journals. Departmental-based journals, faculty-based journals, university-based journals, association-based journals, independent-based journals, where the printing is all offline. I mean, in paper version, not electronic. Okay. What about visibility? This is another appealing, advantage why you should channel your energy towards online. It is pathetic that, and this I must say with regret, that some of our colleagues, especially the senior ones, are not visible online, despite the huge research experience and the contribution they have made to knowledge. Why? How did it get to that stage? They successfully matched their visibility by choosing offline journals to communicate their research findings, unfortunately. Instead of them to publish their articles, their work online, rather they choose these departmental-based, faculty-based, university-based, association-based journals, and then nobody could be able to see what they have done, except within their domain. So as a result, they diminish their international reputation, because nobody knows, and attract low global rankings to their department and universities. So no one out there will be interested in what you publish in offline journals, because it is unrealistic to keep track of this article that you have published there. Because how is it possible for somebody outside this domain to get the paper publications? Even within this domain, people will not even get it. You get to the bookstore, they will tell you it has finished, you cannot get it within your locality. So how much more people outside? So as upcoming researchers, as young scholars striving to make impact in the world and on your society, we must wake up, we must avoid their mistakes, and we must try to communicate our research through the internet. This is a piece of advice. Still on visibility, if you want to increase individually, you want to increase your visibility as a researcher, even for the senior colleagues who have done it the other way around, they can also make an attempt to put their work online in this way, though it may not be as sound as it's supposed to be. You can open a Google account. This is a free account where you can open with your Gmail or your university email, and then you manually update your record. You put your publication online by yourself. You can also open a ResearchGate account that is also free, but only requires the email address, and then ResearchGate also create a forum for communication with other researchers around the world. We shall talk about this later on. And again, you can open an OSIP account. This is also free. Meanwhile, some high impact journals now, they require you to have this OSIP account before they can proceed with the article processing. So this is becoming a must now for most journals, so take notes. So then we can also open a Web of Science Research ID that is also free, where you can connect with researchers and communicate your research with a unique ID. You can also share your verified reviews online. In this way, when you review for some journals, they can index it in this Web of Science Researcher ID. So you can know, people can track how you review for journals out there. Okay. Again, another pitfall of this is disconnect from the international community. When you publish online, this is another reflection from mine, that you become disconnected. It's extremely difficult to connect with researchers outside your locality, and then you keep yourself in a dung, in a ditch that you're doing by yourself. So you will miss the evaluation of manuscript by international researchers. Only within your domain, you get this so-called review. In most cases, just collect money and don't see anything. So again, I'm afraid that you'll be ignorant of new methods, new theories, and the latest dimensions of research in your field. And this is happening already in our society, where people only focus on what their professors and professor have taught them without looking at what is obtainable in the world today. Again, little wonder some of our postgraduate programs are run within, a kind of ditch where external examiners are really invited from abroad, because what they work on is not presentable in most cases. So in some cases, so it is high time we broke this box. We don't just think outside the box. We break it completely, and then we can think outside it. That is my advice. Okay, the last part of it, I think, is that the world is a moving train. You have to follow the trend. Keep up with the updates consistently. How? The academic research world is ever increasing and fast changing anywhere in the world, not only in Africa. So if we refuse to change, or we are sluggish in adapting to these changes, I'm afraid the world does not care. The world will continue moving, and we are backward. And we have a popular story here. That is the story of Nokia and Android. You know, when Android came, Nokia is controlling the market of telephones in most part of the world, including Africa. And then Android came, Nokia was like, no, we have the market, we don't need Android, go away. And then Android liaised with some other companies, and they took over from Nokia. Now Nokia is almost nowhere to be found. When the CEO of Nokia was narrating this story, then it broke down, you know. So because they could not adapt to change when they're supposed to. So do engage in good research and ensure you publish your articles in online journals. So this is what you should take note. Okay, some remarks on my reflections. This is a bit personal, and then let's see how it goes. There are several audios. This is peculiar to Nigerian academics. So there are several audios that we go through here. Some of these audios could stem from poor salary structure. Also usually go on strike just to get money from the government. The salary is too small, inflation is high, okay? Poor salary structure. Lack of adequate funding. The university is not fully funded by the government, who are the owners of the university, and they must workload. You can see a lecturer with a lot of load to work, teaching, supervision, other community services like being examination officer, postgraduate coordinators, and this kind of enormous workload is also there. And so poor conditions of service. This is another thing. As a university lecturer, you might not be entitled to a good accommodation, a good healthcare service. Okay, see, so your children might not be entitled to a reduced tuition fee in secondary school or in primary school. All this kind of poor, even your offices might not be well furnished. So this poor condition of service is there already. So putting all these things together, also have lack of motivation to work diligently. Of course, this must be one of the reasons why people lack the motivation to work diligently. So if we put this one side, then it is prudent, I guess, to communicate. Don't also let this problem affect your progress, your research impact. So it is prudent to communicate your findings, the findings of the little research that you have done. You struggle to conduct this research, just make sure you communicate it through a worldwide channels. Don't use offline. That's just a brave advice here. So the second or third part of this talk is about how can you now identify these high impact journals? How can you know? How can you get these high impact journals? Okay, good. Some yardstick. I just give you some kind of code where when you get home or when you reflect back on this presentation, and we are going to make this slide available to those who register for this particular seminar. So I'll give you some yardsticks through which you can also research on it and then you build on it, okay? The first being the journal metrics. One of the indicators of high impact journals is to check the journal metrics. And these journal metrics, there are quite a number of them. We have the journal impact factor, the SJR, the SNIP, the H5 index, the H index, the H10 index, and so on and so forth. So again, you also need to consider the journal ranking. What is the ranking of the journal in your field? How is it ranked? And this is what you can hardly get in offline journals. They don't have any rank, 0 rank. Then again, journal indexing. Where are these journals indexed? Where do you find them? We shall talk about indexing very soon. We shall pick this one after the other and break it down, okay? Then editorial boards. Who are those that are managing the journal? Who are the editorial boards? Okay, who constitutes the editorial boards of these journals you want to use? Okay, then you also look at the review process. How transparent is the review? Is it peer reviewed? Is it blind review? Or this kind of thing you have to check. Then who is the publisher? Who is the publisher? Is it just one person in that village or well-known publishers? I'll give you a list of publishers very soon, so take note. So let's pick on with the journal metrics. So the journal impact factors. So this is the first one. I wrote JIP and JIF there, Journal Impact Factors. So this one, according to Thomson Reuters, actually define it to be this. Okay, that may not be the time to go through the definition. However, what it's all about is just some kind of arithmetic that you do by dividing the number of citations by the total number of articles published in the last 2 years. How many citations do the articles published in that journals have divided by the number of articles? With this arithmetic, you can get the journal impact factor. Then the idea is that journals with high impact factors publish articles that are cited more often than journals with low impact. It's all about number of citation divided by the number of articles published. Okay, good. So again, you can talk about the 5-year impact factor. This is when you extend it from 2 years, you extend it to 5 years. Okay, and then the most reputable journals publish their ISI's impact factors with article source in Web of Science. See, when you go to some website, some journal website, you will see them writing our impact factor is this, and you can verify. Don't fall for it. You can verify. When I say their impact factor is just verify, put them in Scopus and then see whether it is true. But there are some trusted publishers, as we shall mention later on. Maybe you can quickly say it. The trusted publishers like Elsevier, Taylor and Francis, Wiley, and so on. We shall talk about it later on. So when they mention that this is the impact factor, you don't need to worry much. The other one is that SGR, okay, where that is also arithmetic of based on weighted citation. They do not pick for this one. They don't just pick the number of citations. They weight the citations and then they divide by the number of articles published. So we also have another one, the S&AP. All these are just indexed to talk about the citations and how a journal is being, articles published in a particular journal is being cited over the years. Okay. The other one is that of Google Scholar. This one is peculiar to Google Scholar, the H5 and then the H, even for authors, we also have the H10. All these are peculiar to Google Scholar. Okay, so what about the uses of this journal metrics? What can you gain from this journal metric? What do you use it for? Okay, so the journal metrics, the 5 of them or the 6 of them we have discussed, you can use it or it can be used by authors to decide where to submit manuscript for publication. When you see a journal with impact factor of 50, that is very huge. In educational, biological, and behavioral sciences, you hardly get that. In behavioral sciences and educational research journals, you hardly find 50, maybe like 4, 3, 2, 1 point something, 0 point something. You can still get it there. But in chemistry, I'm very sure there are some journals with very high impact factor, ranging to 30 and thereabout. Okay. So then authors can use this in these metrics to monitor your academic growth. Okay. When you are publishing maybe from Q1, then you move on from Q4, you move on to Q3, you move on to Q2, and so on and so forth. So you can use the journal metrics to monitor your academic growth. The libraries also use this to make collection development decisions. There are some libraries where they subscribe to some journals. They look at their impact factor before they subscribe to them. Then academic departments also use it to assess academic productivity. They use it to reward and they used to make decisions on promotion and tenure. I think this is also coming down to Nigeria gradually, but mostly in abroad, where you publish also determine not only the article that you publish, where do you publish it? Then for the journal ranking, journals are ranked based on some metrics, which we shall look at. So the most popular journal ranking is that of SGR, that of SCImago. It is ranked every year. And they draw their data from Scopus database, which I'll talk about Scopus very soon. So the journals are then ranked according to SGR scores, and they are grouped into whether Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Q1 is the best, being in the first quartile, and then Q4 is the least, being in the last quartile. If you go to SGR website and you put the name of the journals, you could not find it there. That means the journal is not ranked. So just drop it in the bin. Okay. The limitation of this SGR is the fact that journals that are not indexed in Scopus will not appear on their list. And I must mention this: the primary yardstick, at least in the standard that we aim to achieve, is that at least the journal should be indexed in Scopus. At least. We should talk about indexing now. So what do you mean by this indexing? So journal index, also called bibliographic indices or bibliography databases, a list of journals organized by discipline, subject, or type of publication. Okay? And then, so the journals included in an index are considered to be of high quality than journals that are not indexed. So this is because journals have to go through rigorous vetting process before they can be included in a reputable bibliography database. So once the journal is indexed by a database, it is immediately made available to all users of that database. Some databases also index titles, while some will put abstract or even the whole article. So some of the reputable bibliography databases are these, the Cambridge Scientific Abstract, the CAS, the EBSCO, the ERIC, the Math Science Net, the ProQuest also there. We also have the PubMed, we have the PsychoInfo, Science Citation Index, and the Scopus. The last one being the Scopus there. And I mentioned the baseline of knowing the high and whether a journal is of high impact factor or not is whether it is indexed in Scopus. In fact, lately, if your journal is not indexed in Scopus, forget about me, I will not publish my article there. It must be at least indexed in Scopus. And this is a good standard that you can also uphold for yourself. Okay, then the editorial board, their review process, and so on. So the quality of journal editorial board is a good indicator, okay? It's a good indicator of whether the journal is of high impact factor or not. Then again, the quality of peer-reviewed process, okay, is another indicator of whether the journal is good. When I talk about the quality of editorial boards, when you go to the website of the journal, you will see it there, editorial board. Just look at names one by one. Are they just friends that put themselves together, okay, from the same community or from the same university? Or these are different international collaborators coming together. And often the members of this board, where do they publish? Just Google their names. You will put their name in Scopus. You will see the number of publications or the number of publications they have and the quality of publication they make. So if they don't meet up or you cannot find them on Google Scholar, just know that these guys, they are just out for business. They have to make money. So the quality of editorial board is very important. And again, what about their review process? How do they review the article? They just give it to one man, pay him peanut, and then let him review for them, or they have this workflow, transparent review process. Okay. Again, the trustworthiness of the publisher. How trustworthy do you have this publisher of that particular journal? The journal will be hosted by a publisher. So how trustworthy? I have a table here. This one, I got it from Frontiers as a publisher. So here the publishers are ranked. So we have the ACS, the American Chemical Society, as a publisher, being the top among them. You can see their impact factor down here for the publisher and not for the journal. And Frontiers is number 3, followed by Elsevier. So Elsevier is another very reputable publisher. Then we have the Plus. Then you move on to Springer Nature. You move on to IEEE, MDPI, Wiley, Emerald, Indawi, Sage Publication, up to get the last one here, IOP Publishing. So all these, they are trusted publishers with what? With impact factors. I don't know, maybe the publisher of any offline journal is there. So take note. Probably not. Okay. Now, we have been able to, so far, there was a reflection that all in all emphasizes the importance of publishing in high impact journals. How can we identify high impact journals? We dealt with that. Now the next thing could be, how can you now prepare your manuscripts? You have to take it gently here. How can you prepare your manuscripts so that your manuscript will be suitable for publishing in high impact journals? Okay. I have some tips, and the whole of these 3 slides will be tips. 1, you need to engage in the research. Of course, without the research, there is no publication. You need to engage in research before you can publish something out of your research. You cannot just be a teaching faculty or a teaching lecturer that is not engaging in research and you want to make a publication. You need to engage in research. But when you engage in your research, you need to be meticulous about what you do. And then you need to be rigorous about it. Make sure every line, every sentence is correct to the best of your knowledge. Make sure every experiment is well done to the best of your knowledge. Number two, you need to write a lot. That is being aggressive in writing. You need to write and write a lot. Without writing, there is no publication. You need to write out of your work. Don't just make the experiment work. Don't just make the tool work. Don't just improve performance theoretically. You need to make writings. Collaboration is key. You may not do this alone. Maybe your own passion. I mean, what you know to do best is to run an experiment. You have a friend. What he knows to do best is to write, collaborate, put your knowledge to support each other, and then you will be fine. So collaboration is key. You may not be able to do it alone. You need to collaborate with colleagues of like minds, then you will be fine. You need to be open to new development in your field. Don't just be restrictive. Don't restrict yourself. The usual way may not be the way. If your department is dominated with quantitative research and new development in your field is moving towards qualitative, you need to learn how to design a qualitative experiment, how to design a qualitative study, how to analyze qualitative data. Even though your background is quantitative and now your field is moving towards qualitative, and it could be the other way around. Your background could be qualitative and your field is moving towards quantitative. You need to learn these statistical tools. You should be able to do them. You should be able to you should be able to open to new development in your field. You need to beat your fear and try those high-ranked journals. I know this may be difficult, but you have to start from somewhere. And the good news is that if your article, your manuscript is rejected, it will be rejected with some comments, which you can use to improve yourself. So a prudent idea would be target the highest ranked journal in your field, throw in your article. You may be lucky to go through the review process. If it goes through the review process, you definitely get some feedback. The feedback you get, use that to improve your article and throw it in the middle ranked journal, and then you get accepted easily. So this is a tip. Okay, more, you need to study the scope of the journal. These journals, you say, okay, this is our scope. Within this domain we operate. If you bring any article outside of this domain, we don't honor it. Study the scope, their aims and their objectives. Then you prepare your manuscript accordingly. If they say we want APA 6th edition or we want 7th edition, don't give them 6th edition. If it's okay, we publish only methodology. Don't bring opinion article. By the way, opinion article is almost gone. So if you are still writing opinion article, you are wrong. You need to bring empirical study. So this is what most journals we respect, or theoretical studies. Okay, but bringing opinion article, most high-ranked journals will not like to publish that, except if you're an authority in your field or you've built your career to a certain extent. Okay, you need to be selective in your choice of journals. We've spoken about the ranking, the review speed, the open access, or whatever. You need to choose which one do you want, the highest rank, the middle rank, or the lowest rank. You can start from the lowest rank to build your confidence, if you like, and then you move up down the line. Look at the review speed. Most journals write this and they are transparent about it. They will write this on their website. Our review speed is 1 year. So if you're a PhD student or you're a master student, you know that kind of journal is not for you, because you need this paper before you defend your thesis. But some journals will say, okay, our own review speed is 3 weeks. Within 3 weeks to get feedback. Our own is within 1 month. Our own within 2 weeks. So if you are particular about the speed, about making publication out of your work, then you need to consider the speed. Then do you have the money to pay for open access? If you have the money, go for open access. That is the best I can preach. But make sure the open access you are paying for is high-ranked journals. Based on what you have said, the minimum rank should be index in Scopus. Okay? Good. Then you have to avoid narrow and restrictive titles when you are making your article publication. Articles, manuscripts are different from thesis. They are different from dissertation. Okay? Let's take, for example, look at this particular title. Impact of social constructivism instructional strategy on performance in algebraic processes among secondary school students in Sokoto State, Nigeria, for instance. What is wrong with this title? When you look at this title, you find that one, it is too specific. It is too restrictive. It is restricted to location. It is restricted to almost everything. To the topic, it is restricted. So what if you frame it this way? Impact of social constructivism, constructivist instructional strategy, now performance in algebra. From algebraic processes, I've expanded the scope to the whole of what? Algebra. Now with a focus on secondary school students. I don't mention the state, I don't mention my country. So anybody can pick this, okay, secondary school student, we also have it in Malaysia, secondary school student, we also have it in Ghana, okay, not only in Nigeria, unlike before. And when they see your first title, say, oh, in Nigeria, that means it will not work for Ghana, or it won't work for Rwanda, or it won't work in South Africa. Okay, so but when you make it open title, even though in the body of your work, you are still going to restrict the scope. Okay, so by the title alone, we are trying, okay, let's see what he has done. But when you say algebraic processes, okay, in our own syllabus, that is not like algebraic processes. So that means this study is not of value to us. But when you say algebra, okay, everybody has algebra. It's an international core curriculum of mathematics. So take note of this. Beware of restrictive and narrow titles. This first title may be suitable for your master thesis in some universities, for a PhD thesis in some university, but it is not suitable for article publication. You need to know how to frame, caching, short, and encompassing title. Okay. Then again, after you've made your title, you need to make a logical and convincing case for your research. In your introduction, you need to make a logical and convincing case for your. Don't mention poor performance when the data is showing the students are passing. Don't say poor performance in WAEC when WAEC is saying 65% made it, 75% made it. That is not poor performance. Okay, so take note of that. You need to make a logical and convincing case for your research. Again, more tips. You need to be up to date in your theoretical foundations and literature search. And I have a bonus here for you. If your university does not subscribe to journals, they don't pay for journal subscription, you can still make it through Google Scholar. Go to that. If your university does not pay, that means you may not be able to access Web of Science, which I may say is the best you can access, Web of Science. Okay, but if you cannot access Web of Science, just go to Google Scholar. The link is there. When we distribute this slide, you will get the link. So Web of Science will give you access to articles published over the years. Then you can search with some keywords and then articles will pump up on your face. Some of these articles, you'll be able to download them, while some you will not be able to download them. For those that you are not able to download, you can look at the name of the author and then contact the author. Ask him, gentleman, the email is there. Ask the gentleman, I'm interested in your article. Can you please send me the article? Most authors will be willing to share their work with researchers. This is what we do every day, every now and then. Okay? And you can also adopt a snowball approach. What is a snowball approach? When you get one article and you want to find more articles related to that study, just go to the references. Go to the references of that article that you have got. You will see that, oh, this article has cited this paper, it has cited this paper, it has cited this paper, then trace those papers and get there. That is what we call snowball. Okay? So you can use Google Scholar, and then when you want more, you identify 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, then use snowball approach. A trick around this, you can get a 2023 article in Google Scholar, or even now, you have some articles that are published in 2024, even though it is yet to come. So you can get 2024 article in Google Scholar, look at the references, you will see more articles. So that will aid your review process. So take note of this. Good. Again, your methodology should match your theory and be appropriate to address your research purpose. Okay, will you be using mixed method to address your research purpose? Or will you be using qualitative methods to address your research purpose, or quantitative methods to address your research, or just proofs and calculations or simulations? So take note of this. Your analysis should be rigorous and reflect the state of the art in your field. Don't bring archaic methods of data analysis. Don't bring them in. Look at the state of the art analytical tools in your field. People have criticized, for instance, now in reliability testing, people have criticized the use of Robert Alpha. People have criticized the use of test-retest method. Which one are the alternatives? Learn them, use them. People will take you serious. Then, okay, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. He's not operating in the 80s when we are in 2023. Okay, good. The next point could be, you need to interpret and discuss your findings in light of theory, evidence, and literature. These three things should come together. The theory that you have used, your theoretical foundation, the evidence, that is the light of your data, what your data has told you, and then the literature, what the previous literature say about this issue. So take note of this. When you interpret and discuss a findings, yeah, people say, yeah, you are on the line. The last note here being, at least still on the manuscript preparation, is that do not compile references. Maybe this is like a command, but it is not. Do not compile references manually. Do not do that. Do not cite somebody and then you now use your hand to write, to type. Abimbola, whatever, 2023, the whatever, and then the journal name. Don't do that. People don't do that again. The world has moved on. It is archaic now. And at the same time, it is ineffective. You are prone to errors. Instead, there are some technological tools that have been designed to help you in this referencing. You have the EndNote is there, Mendeley is there, the Zotero is there. There are so many others that are there. So these particular tools will help you to organize your references, and you link the references to link the references to your Microsoft Word that are easy to type, or some other typing tools, and then you'll be able to cite directly from your Microsoft Word. You cite it immediately to compute the reference for you in the style that you want. If you want APA 6th edition, it will give you accurately. If you want 7th edition, it will give you accurately, and so on and so forth. So do not compile your references manually, okay? And again, okay, before we move on from here, is that you also need to proofread your work. You also need to proofread your work. There are some embarrassing grammar, embarrassing typographical errors that you are going to make while you are typing. But when you read it, when you proofread it, you can proofread it using human beings, and you can also proofread it using technology. Now there is Grammarly. You don't have to pay, just use the basic version of Grammarly. At least the basic grammatical mistakes can easily be corrected, Grammarly. Okay, so that will help you to proofread your article before you later send it. Okay, while you are preparing to send it, or you are now in the process of sending your article out for publication in high impact journals, you need to have it in your mind that the rejection is inevitable. Okay, expect rejection at the first round of the review process. Even in most cases, that's rejection. You submit an article in the morning, before the end of the day, you've already seen rejection letter. So people do that. So you need to remember that the review process is not it's not a piece of cake. There will be some obstacles along the way. So expect a rejection at the first round of the review process. And you should always remember that no matter how good you are, there is always a reviewer too. A reviewer too is brutal and nasty. So that reviewer too there is not necessarily number 2 on your review list. It could be any one of them. And what that means, these are critical reviewers. Some of them will suggest something very fantastic, but they'll be very critical about it. They are brutal and nasty. So you should always expect them. And these high impact journals, the minimum reviewers you can get is 2, minimum. In some journals, you get 5 reviewers, even 6. I've written articles where I got 6 reviewers. Reviewer 1, reviewer 2, reviewers 3, 4, 5, and 6, all saying almost different things. Now your head will now be loaded that even your response to reviewers will be more than the article that you wrote. It happens. So take note of this. You should expect rejection. It is not a piece of cake. Okay. The next point there is, when you see rejection or you see brutal review report, do not take it personally. As in, do not take it too personal. See it as an opportunity to improve your manuscript. Some will be somehow embarrassing, where somebody is telling you've already claimed, for instance, let's take a look at this. You've already claimed that in your introduction that there is limited study on this particular domain. And then the reviewer is asking you to provide 2023 journals, 2023 articles. Are you kidding me? I told you at the beginning there's limited study, and you're asking me to bring more new studies. It is not possible. I cannot get it because there is none. So this kind of thing you should expect that, but you should take that as an opportunity. At times you may have to politely ask them, can you suggest some of these new topics? I've done that for one reviewer before. Was asking him for latest articles, and no, it's not later. Okay, can you suggest? And he could not respond. So this happens at times. You need to be very careful with what to take, and then you take opportunity and you improve your manuscript. Then when you receive rejection letter, so you have to move on quickly. Don't be demoralized. Oh, I've got the rejection. I'm not doing it again. No. Back up yourself. If there was any report, look at the report, improve your article, and then submit to another journal. Move on quickly. Don't be demoralized. It happens. It happens. Even the most senior professor, the best professor in your field, also get rejected. I was in a talk with one of the best professor in my university where I did my PhD, and he told me that he got rejected recently, and he was pissed off. But this happens to even respected professor, authority in the field. So do not relent. My last advice is to always remember this. Success equals to talent plus luck. Success equals to talent plus luck. What about great success? Great success requires what? A little more talent plus a lot of work. And the author of this equation, you have his name over there. So at this point, I will round up the speed presentation on how to get published in high impact.
Okay, fine. It's okay. So
Thank
good
you.
day all. Actually, I have listened to this wonderful presentation, and is really enlightened and well researched. Thank you very much, Dr. Yusuf, for this presentation. Actually, what I intend to in publishing as a young researcher, I think you have said it all regarding the journal selection and article preparation, and also how to, cope with rejection. Indeed, this is my best part, because you have to elaborate much about managing rejection, because this is the trend. Whenever you are publishing, you have to expect rejection at any moment. Maybe someone might spend 4, 5, 6 months undertaking a research, and after everything, the paper is complete, and you just go ahead and submit it. The first thing you see the following day is rejection. One must be, devastated, really. So really, you need to enlighten more about journal rejection, and how would a young researcher like me can go about it. And apart from that, what based on my experience and what advice I think I should give to young ones or new trend is one. Uh, Old hands. If there is old hand in your department or in the system, maybe you are supervisor, you try to go, you move towards or close to him, so that he can easily or she can easily guide you or put you through how to handle journal submission, how to, go about reviewing response that you are expected to give to reviewers. Apart from that, is at times, you may see some articles in reputable high impact journal, everything well, and based on what you have taken as a research, your article, you can, because based on your comparison, you can say your article is 100% close to that article in terms of heaviness to say. I mean, your article, to the best of your knowledge, based on the literature you have read, is standard and is worth, accepting in that journal. But to your surprise, your article will be rejected. And the funny part of it, uh, some reviewers or some journal, they will just turn back your article without any comment, that they have a huge articles on the cycle or on the line, and because of that, though they will not process your article, but they are just advising you to go and submit your article to some, you know, articles where you have to pay from your pocket, which in some cases you have no funding and maybe you cannot go about it. So also you have to, I think, highlight more about especially open access articles, which, you know, at times if you have funding, one may go, but there are a lot of closed access articles, which I believe some of rejections do come from closed access articles. Why? Because, you know, they are not you, meanwhile after who benefit more from your, you know, from your hard work.
Mm.
So next, I think regarding uh, old hands to say, at times I believe, or what I will suggest is, as a young researcher, try to find one or two researchers that are in your field of interest, move towards them, because that may achieve in you know, shaping your mind and also coaching you more on how to get accepted easily, or you get acceptance easily with regards to your written article. So for example, you have an article and you have no much confidence over it other than your supervisor or the people that you consulted, but you know some what they call big guns in that area, which you normally follow their articles and enjoy their articles. You can email them, especially using the platforms that you have stated, for example, ResearchGate. You can talk to them that you have an article which you like them to maybe proofread, give you their comments and observations. And if they don't mind, you would like to collaborate with them in the article. So that will simplify the, you know, the process. One, they'll go through your article, all the necessary things that they think if you do, or if you make, or you incorporate in your article will be, you know, accepted easily without much worry. So I believe this is also a nice thing for young researchers to look for some notable ones in their area of interest and try to collaborate with them so as to simplify the review process process. And again, I think the last thing that I would like to stress is managing a rejection. Please, because it is really upset and demoralizing for someone to spend a lot of time, and to his surprise or her surprise, the last thing to see is rejection. So as you said, keep moving. You just move on and keep submitting. This is the tradition. Whenever you submit, you should expect a rejection, whether with comments or without comments. If the comments are worth, you know, incorporating or implementing, this is normal. Just do it, incorporate it, and move on. Because the review process under normal circumstances are meant to, you know, improve and enrich the papers, or you yourself as a researcher to on that area. Maybe the ideas that are new process, as you have said, you have once asked someone to suggest. So once such kind of things are on, you will learn a lot from the process, and overall your publishing will be a little bit easier.